You're welcome to class. My name is Opeifa Olasunkanmi, your English teacher. And today we are going to be looking at a very important topic, formal letter. Yes, formal letter. When you hear the word formal, what comes to your mind? Yes, formal, formal, formal. What comes to your mind? Oh, past? No, 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 no. That is not the spelling. The one that refers to past is Former, former. Or this is formal. So, what comes to your mind? Look at this. Something like seriousness, something like office. Yes, business, exactly. When you say formal, you are talking about official. So, what is a formal letter? A formal letter is a letter written to someone in an official position addressing official issues. It is also called a business letter. It is a serious letter. It is not written to friends and family, even though your friends are, yes, can actually occupy a business position. Of course, at that point when you're writing to them, you are addressing them officially. Your father might be the CEO of of a company and you're applying for a job there. Of course, you won't say, "Hi, Dad." Of course, no. You are going to address him officially. So that's a formal letter. So what are the examples of formal letters that we have? What examples do we have around us? Think of this. You are applying for a job, as I said earlier, or you are applying for visa, you're applying for scholarship, any form of application that will involve letter writing, your letter should be formal. Next, or not in any particular order, a letter of request to an office, any official request, of course, will be also a formal letter. And then that letter of admission of yours, congratulations, yes, is a formal letter. And finally here, I have letter of appointment. Yes, that's your letter of appointment is also a formal letter. Of course, I believe a lot of examples are coming to your mind as you are also following this lesson. Yes, why not? You can drop them in the comment section there below, and let's hear from you. Let's learn also from you. So let's move on. What are the features of formal letters? What are the structural features? What are the things you're supposed to put to have a concept structure that is acceptable, especially as a candidate of SSC? So let's have the first thing you're supposed to do is to have the writer's address. You as a writer should put your address at the right hand side of your script or your notes, and then you have your date immediately underneath it. You have your date there. Then you have the recipient address on the left hand side of your script. Then immediately below it, you have salutation. And in the center, you have the heading of your letter. That is the title of your letter. And you are getting there. And then we have the main business, which is the body of the letter. And finally, you have subscription, that is the closing. So all these are supposed to be written in a particular way. They are supposed to be written in a particular way. You don't just pick your pen and write your address anyhow, or your date anyhow, or your the recipient's address anyhow, and then you just no. It is formal. Remember, it is official. Remember, it is business. Remember, hence it is serious. So before we move on to seeing an example, let's look at things that are not allowed. Things that are not allowed. First thing, you don't use contractions. Instead of saying won't, you write will not. Instead of saying I am, you write I am. And instead of saying isn't, you say is not, and so on and so forth. Okay? Then you write, you don't write slangs, you don't write colloquial expressions. You don't write slangs, you don't write colloquial expressions. Examples are nigger, chaps, guys, and what have you. Please, you don't use that. Please, mindful of the word nigger. It is dirty, it is foul. You don't use it at all in any writing. And here again, we have abbreviations. Please, you write your words in full. You write the organization name or whatever you want to write in full. Say WAEC. You don't just, I mean, you don't say WAEC, you say West African Examination Council, West African Examination Councils. Your OAU, whatever it means, you can have Obafemi Awolowo University, okay, and so on and so forth. You just make sure you open it. You can, at the end of the day, put it in brackets, okay. However, you don't just drop your abbreviations there. Examiners really frown at this. We don't like to see this, and you need to just be very careful. So let's go to sketch. Let's sketch our letter now. The first thing, as we said earlier, you are going to write your address. The address of the writer is important, and you can see it now. Each letter that is starting a word there is written in capital letter, and that's what we're supposed to do because they are proper nouns. Be mindful of that. Write each one in capital letter. Then you have your date. So let me quickly go back to address again. After each line, don't forget your comma, and then full stop. Then you have 7th May 2020. C or TH of May, TH of after 7th is not jumping. May is in capital letter, and then you have your comma after it, and you have full stop immediately after 2020. Please note all this. Any error here will be penalized, and you are going to half mark will be deducted from 10 marks. Of course, if you have about 20, you have 20, you are going to lose the 10 marks in the mechanical accuracy, and you don't want to lose any mark, please. So let's go on to the next thing there. You have the recipient address. In formal letter, you address the office first, the minister, okay, the commissioner, the governor, the director, the manager, the secretary, the principal, okay. That's the address before, that's the office before you now put the address. So the example you have here now, the minister, Federal Ministry of Education, Gariki, Abuja, and you can note my comma after each line until I got to the last location there. Okay, moving on, you have your salutation, which could be sir or madam, dear sir or madam. You can also have ma. It all depends on you. They are all allowed. Then you have your title, which is this letter of suggestion. I will advise you to always write your titles in capital letters, okay, and don't underline. However, in case you want to go otherwise, please write only the initial letters in capital letter, and then you can underline. But you need to know that there are some that must just remain in small letter. Those are what we call grammatical words. Then the ones that will start with capital letter will be content words. And what are content words? They are adverbs, they are verbs, they are nouns, they are adjectives. So any other part of speech that is not in this category that I mentioned should be written in small letter, then you underline. So you don't want to go through that stress, right? So just write everything in capital letter and don't underline. So the next thing is the body of the letter, and that's the main business. Let's look at the body of the letter here. We have this. I write to suggest ways to improve the quality of education in our schools. With due respect, I would like to suggest that facilities in the schools be improved, the curriculum be revamped, and teachers should be retrained. I shall discuss this point in detail below. So this is concise enough. I always advise my students, when you are writing your introductory paragraph, please include the points you are going to be discussing in the body, include it in your introductory paragraph. The reader will know what is expected in the letter. Okay, so and then you move on. Avoid starting another paragraph with firstly, secondly, thirdly. Please, it's more mature if you say to start with, then you move on to furthermore, and so on like that. So just like what I have here now. So to start with, you start with facilities in the school should be improved. You discuss extensively on this. Then you move on to the next paragraph where you can link, start with a linker like the furthermore. Then you talk about the curriculum. Then you can have the next point where you can say moreover. You talk about the teachers, the fact that teachers should be retrained or should be trained. Then you close very well, hoping that your suggestions will be looked into and be adopted. Just put something. Of course, you don't greet, so you just need to be formal and be official and appreciate the reader for reading, and then put the fact that you hope that your suggestions will be looked into. Then, what do you do next? You close your letter with yours faithfully alone. For formal letter, please, especially those who are writing SSC, yours faithfully is the only accepted closing. Then immediately after it, you put your salutation. Sorry, you put your signature. I beg your pardon for that. You put your signature, and after your signature, your full name. I believe you have learned a lot today, and you have some questions. Please just drop your questions in the comment box or the comment section there, and your questions will be attended to. Also, you can click like for this if you enjoyed the class. You can also drop your feelings, your question, criticism, adjustment, anything you feel like writing, you can just drop it there, and you'll be sure your comments, your expression will be well treated. And also subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you can learn more, you can get more lessons from us. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful day.